This Monday.com ad was created by a team of people and AI agents. The agents wrote the copy and managed the timelines, while our human creative director made sure it all made sense. Easy. Create your own AI agent today on Monday.com.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. Hello to all of my Lolas out there. Guys, today we are covering a topic close to everyone's heart: why moms can never relax fully. If you ever sit down, but your brain is still going through your to-do list and all of the stuff you have to get done, from the sports practices to the appointments to the forms and what everyone else needs from you tomorrow. And sometimes you don't even realize how tense you are until you finally get a moment alone and your body still can't relax. And the issue isn't that you're failing. This is not a failing thing. The issue is that moms never truly get to clock out. We are so overloaded with not just the mental tasks, but also our kids' emotions and feeling everything so deeply. And today we are talking with two women who balance that day to day. They are Emily Jones and Julie Dobbs. They're the co-hosts of the Mom Game podcast, where they mix sports, motherhood, work, marriage, and real life in the most honest way possible. Both are longtime sports broadcasters and moms, while balancing demanding careers, raising kids, having busy family schedules, and all that chaos that comes with modern motherhood. And what makes their show connect with so many women is that they're willing to talk openly about the stuff that moms usually feel they have to hold together privately: the overwhelm, the relationships, the parenting, the identity, and trying to do it all without completely losing themselves in the process. This is such a great conversation. We talk about hormones. We talk about the need to vent and be real with people. We talk about why sports documentaries are fascinating. And I can't wait for you to hear this episode with Emily and Julie. So let's get on with the show. So we're just going to go naturally into the conversation because Julie and Emily, I noticed like how busy it is in your lives. Like, you used to be sports broadcasters, you're now doing your own show. It is a constant, like, you are always on, you are always doing something. And Emily, you're coming on this morning having a very, very busy morning. So this question, I mean, I don't know how many women can answer it, but like, do you remember relaxing when you technically had downtime, but you still didn't feel relaxed mentally?
So for me, I always used to joke with a girl I used to work with when we were kind of in the throes, and it's just a different kind of busy based on where your kids are in their lives, as far as their ages, the stages that they're in, different things like that. But I remember when we were in the throes of it, we have children similar ages, and her name's Dana. She's a wonderful friend, and we would be talking, and we were just kind of just in this fog of like trying to do all the things and, you know, stay married and raise kids and all keep a job, like all the things, trying to juggle them all. And we just said, like, I mean, I just wouldn't mind getting like in a small car accident. Like, everyone's fine. No serious injuries, not even a ton of damage to the car, but the doctor's like, you just need to lay in bed for 2 days. Like, literally, you should only get out of bed to go to the bathroom, and that's it. You just need to lay in bed for 2 days. I was like, wouldn't that be amazing? Is this something we could actually pull off, maybe in the parking lot, leaving work or something like that? But yeah, you just kind of feel like you just can't ever. That's what I was telling Julie earlier today. Like, I just feel like I'm treading water. Like, I'm just trying to not drown at this point. And I think it's this time of year with my kids is super busy. I think for all moms, this time of year is busy, especially if you have kids in school. You know, they call it Maycember. And I think it's just, it's a busy time of year. At this point, I'm just trying to survive. I mean, I'm in survival mode. Like, let's just get to the finish line, and then we can take a break, take a breather, and, you know, have a glass of wine and celebrate the fact that we all made it to the finish line.
It is kind of amazing that we all hope for that little small car accident to get a doctor's note to relax. It's like, that should like put off warning bells in our mind that we have so much on us. And Emily, like, what age are your kids right now?
So about to be 15 and 13.
15 and 13. And then Julie, what age are your kids?
About to be 11 and 8.
11 and 8. So like, do you have the problem with relaxing too, Julie, even then when you technically have the downtime?
I do. I'm glad to hear that, that I'm not the only one. I would say my forms of relaxing are going to play tennis, where and that's not really relaxing. So something's wrong with that. Because I'm being told what to do. Like my brain, that's one of the only times I can really just shut my brain off is if I'm in the middle of like a tennis drill or a match or pickleball. Those are my two things that I love to do. My body's not relaxing, but those help my brain to relax, at least from like the day-to-day stressors,
It's like the decision fatigue. You don't have to deal with any decisions.
It's exactly. You're not thinking about everything in the world all at once. I was on a girls' trip this past weekend and we were playing cheesy games. We've known each other forever. So we're like, we want to have good conversations. We have like little cheesy things. So it was like, say something about yourself that we don't know. We wrote it down and then we like read them aloud. And mine was not exciting or lame. Like some of my friends, mine was, I wish that I watched more TV. And it's like such a weird I wish, but it's so true. I'm like, I can't, even if I have the time, I can't just sit on the couch and like veg out and watch a show. Like Emily will talk about Summer House and all the drama. And I'm like, I don't know. I just can't. It's like I'll end up on my phone or going, oh, I need to do this or I need to do that. And so that is something that I 100% agree with that you said is just that it is so hard to relax when you have all these things spinning in your brain.
It is. And like this productivity drive is so common too among moms. Like I have many clients right now who I'm working with coaching, and it is this productivity, have to do stuff. One in particular is talking about how she wants to get to bed earlier and she wants more sleep because she's exhausted the next day. But just like you said, Julie, she finds herself on her phone, just scrolling, just thinking like of all the things she has to get done. And it's impossible to relax. Obviously, like we all here, we're pretty high achieving. And why do you think so many high achieving moms struggle to turn their brains off?
I think it's because I feel like we're still, even as crazy as it sounds in 2026, there's an innate something at least in me to, for lack of a better phrase, prove people wrong, to prove that I can do something. I don't know. It's a strange thing. And it's almost like and I fall into this with my friends about like, and the people, somebody on our group chat will be like, oh, I had to do this, 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 and this. And I'll be like, well, I had to do this, 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 and this, it's like a weird thing. Like this isn't a badge of honor to be the busiest or and I think a lot of it is how your personality is wired. I'm very task oriented, list driven, but I've found that can be a blessing and a curse because I can't relax until that list is completed. But once it is, I will allow myself to sit there and rot watching Summer House and the Real Housewives of Rhode Island or whatever. And that's kind of my time. And that's, my escape from reality. Also makes me feel totally normal because those people are way crazier than I am. So yeah, it's a weird thing. And it's something that I hope there's other people out there like me that are just like have this kind of weird tick in their brain where they feel like they're constantly trying to prove somebody wrong or and not even trying to prove somebody wrong, but just trying to prove something to myself. And then I'm like, why do I need to prove this to myself? It's just this like constant, conversation you have in your brain.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing. And something Emily said that I thought was kind of interesting. It made me think a little bit like the badge of honor, like you're always busy. I do feel like there's a little bit of a movement right now. And maybe this is just because Emily and I have been doing a lot of work on our hormones and learning about perimenopause and menopause, like all the things. And I've talked to a gal who's been helping me lately, and she's like, you've got to have some relaxed time. It's almost a badge of honor, I feel like, because that was such a push for so long to say, like, I do know how to take a break and like I can be calm because this is what my body needs. And, she told me the other day, she was like, do you take baths? And I was like, well, not really. Like, what do I do? Just sit there and like, I can't do anything. She's like, you need to like just focus on like taking a bath, put some whatever in it, those bath salts, and like it's really good for you. And your body needs that. So I do feel like there is a little bit more of an emphasis on trying to find that calm and trying to find that time to relax. And I want to make it more normal to brag about that, like rather than I'm so busy. How about like, hey, F you all, I took a bath today.
Yeah. Exactly. Here at No Guilt Mom, it's all about the best mom is a happy mom. So like what we can do for ourselves to make ourselves happy is a big thing. But you bring up something like about hormones and perimenopause, because sometimes I feel like we are fighting against some kind of biology here that isn't totally under control, isn't totally understood by everybody yet either. There's a stat that 92% of the productivity books are written by men who have no changes in their monthly cycles, who basically wake up at 6 a.m. and have the same energy at 6 a.m. on Tuesday as they do like on Friday, where we have these varying levels of hormones that we're constantly fighting against, because I feel like no one has normalized that we as women just deal with a different energy structure and energy level.
And I think talking about it more, I think, podcasts like yours and ours hopefully are making it more of a conversation topic and hopefully raising awareness, not only with women, but also too with men. I don't think these are conversations that our parents were having, but
No.
at least we're having these conversations. And even if the dudes aren't listening, at least we have the sounding board of our fellow women who are also going through this raging machine, whatever's happening in our body, that it is these are different circumstances. We are in, different positions as men and women biologically. And it's not just, oh, she's moody or she's snappy or whatever. Like there's some shit going on in there and there's a reason for that. Now, I may also be those things that you say, but there's also something contributing to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I'm on hormone replacement therapy, and it's been the best thing I have ever done. And these symptoms going on it, like I didn't know about it. The only reason I knew was because I was talking to other women on this podcast and doctors and listening to the conversation to be like, hey, you know what? It's not normal to get a monthly migraine right before your period. That's a hormone level thing. And
Mhm.
we could do something about that as far and like energy levels. It's not normal to like go from like really happy to really sad and down in the dumps all at once or be snappy at everybody. That's a hormone level issue too. And we could do stuff to correct that.
Yeah. It's so true. And I love that you said that you kind of learned about it because of the podcast, because I feel like that too. Like just having some awesome people come on and do interviews and people who are really like experts in this field, it almost makes you feel like we were so crazy to not account for any of this. Like there's so much going on
Right.
that we can't really help or control, but there are ways. I'm doing the testosterone pellets too. And
Yeah,
on my
me too.
girls'
I have the pellet
weekend,
therapy too.
the
Yes.
pellet therapy, it's great. And then like the
It's
supplements,
great.
it was so funny on my girls' weekend that I already referenced once. It was like, okay, send me that supplement and I need your hormone
Yeah.
lady. And that's what we're all talking about. But it's so good that we are finally talking about that, because nobody wants to walk around feeling bad and nobody wants to get in like a
Right.
state of just depression or whatever you want to call it, maybe even if it's not that extreme, but just that kind of feeling like there's always like a wave of gray over you. Like you don't want that.
Yeah.
So it's really good that we're normalizing all of this and that it's everybody. It's very normal to have these feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember the first time we started allowance with my daughter, I told her, yes, of course you can buy that. How much do you have in your allowance? And that question changed everything because suddenly she was doing the math, not me. We went to a musical and she walked up to the merch stand, looked at a t-shirt and went, $40? That's so much money. That sentence never came out of her mouth before she had her own money to think about. That's exactly what Cash App's managed accounts for kids 6 to 12 are built for. Whether it's $5 from allowance or $40 birthday money from grandma, it all counts and it all stays with them as they grow up. No subscription fees, no minimum balance, just real practice making real decisions while you're still the one guiding it from your own app. If you're ready to start teaching money habits without adding more stress to your plate, download Cash App and set up a managed account for your child today. For a limited time, new Cash App customers who are parents can use our exclusive referral code FAMILY10 to earn $10. Download Cash App, enter the referral code in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you will receive $10. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Cash App Visa debit flex cards issued by Sutton Sutton Bank, member FDIC, and the Bancorp Bank NA, pursuant to a license from Visa USA Inc. See terms and conditions for the Sutton Prepaid Card, Sutton Debit Flex Card, and Bancorp Debit Flex Card. Savings and offers provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Parents and legal guardians can open a managed account for kids 6 to 12. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
I want to talk about the moment I became a laundry sauce person. I was walking through my house and I just stopped because the whole laundry area smelled incredible. Not like laundry detergent incredible, like you just walked into a really nice hotel incredible. And that was it. So here's the thing about laundry sauce. These are premium scented laundry pods made with fine fragrances from the world's top perfumers. We're talking scents like Australian sandalwood, Italian bergamot, and a new limited edition Brazilian vanilla. And the scent lasts until your next laundry day. When I pull clothes out of the dryer, my first thought is genuinely, oh my gosh, this smells amazing. And the pods, they're pre-measured, pop them in, done. No lid, no guessing, no mess. Plus, they're packed with bioenzymes that actually obliterate stains from all the very summery things your family gets into. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off your entire order when you use code NOGUILT at laundrysauce.com. That's 20% off your entire order at laundrysauce.com with promo code NOGUILT. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. It's time to make laundry day the best day of the week. Growing up, I was terrified to spend money. It wasn't about not having it. It was the guilt. Every time I wanted something, I felt like I shouldn't even ask for it. So I just didn't. That guilt followed me straight into adulthood. That's basically been my money story. Guilt first, math never. Until Monarch. Now I see where our money actually goes instead of guessing. And a chunk was quietly vanishing into the meal delivery apps we used. The weekly AI recap catches that now before it's a problem. And my favorite part, asking Monarch AI's assistant instead of digging through reports and using it to map out big goals since we're about to have a kid headed to college. Write your own money story with Monarch. Use code NOGUILT at monarch.com to get your first year of Monarch Core half off at just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code NOGUILT. What about your mental loads? What does the mental load look like for you guys in your own lives that people probably don't see from the outside?
I think for me, it's like, when you become a mother and especially the older that they get, I talked about this a couple months ago. I was so focused on my career early in my life and I was so driven and so motivated. And I'm proud of what I accomplished professionally. And I have zero regrets in that regard. And so you get to this place where like you feel like, okay, I accomplished this career wise and I feel good about it. And now I'm able to do other things. Then it shifts to your kids to where you want for them so badly to achieve the things that they want to achieve, to learn the lessons that they need to learn. And so for me, that's my biggest mental, load is and it's not their fault, but it's like, I want them so badly to be good humans and to accomplish things, but at the same time to fail because that's how you learn lessons. And so it's like, all these things that you're trying to, instill in your children and to ensure that they grow up to be non-assholes, like that's a huge mental load. And so I think so much of it shifted, especially as my kids got older, that I don't really care about my accomplishments or, I'm still, yes, driven and motivated and want to be productive and all those things. But like that to me is like, that's where all of my, a lot of my stress and that mental load comes from is how do I ensure that they're going to be okay and that they're not going to, be in too much pain if something doesn't go their way, but also they do need to fail because shit doesn't always work out. So it's just that whole back and forth of being a mom. And I'm sure that's for all parents. I'm sure that's for dads too. I just think we wear it a little bit more.
It's like being so emotionally invested in your kids that
yeah.
When they fail, you feel it so completely. And when they succeed, you feel it really strongly as well.
Yeah.
That's been a hard thing for me. I've had to focus on things outside of my kids to really figure that out because it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. What's that saying? I remember hearing it and now I fully understand it. It's like you're only as happy as your saddest kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like Like,
Yes.
It's true.
if you have one kid that's like going through something, that's the roof, the ceiling on where your happiness can be until
Yeah.
maybe they get in a better place. And so I think that there's a logistic mental load, obviously, of like all of the calendars and all of the things and making sure everybody's where they need to be and have you packed this and have you packed that and the crazy schedules. And then there's an emotional mental load. And the emotional mental load is just like Emily said, it's like, and that's when you cannot turn off. Like once you drop your kid off at dance class or practice, you're like, okay, they're where they need to be. But the emotional mental load is just always going. And my problem is like, I'll go to, like I've mentioned, scrolling or whatever is to try and relax. But now I'm being bombarded with all these things about parenting and about kids, and every single thing I read, I'm like, do I need to say this one thing to my kid because this seems like a good phrase, or this seems like a great, parenting tip. I need to write this down. It's like, that's not relaxing,
No,
and you
it's
can't teach
not.
your kid every lesson in the world all at once, right? Like some
Yeah.
things that they just figure it out as they go. So yeah, the mental load is large and it's a lot to carry.
I always wonder if men have this same emotional connection with the kids because, like, I talk with my husband, and when the kids are off, he is not thinking about them. He is focused on his work. But, like you said, Julie, it's impossible to turn off. I don't know how to
Yeah.
turn it off. Like, my attention is always taken away, especially because if my kid's having a bad day, I mean, we just had Mother's Day. Both of my kids were having a bad day on Mother's Day. And I just felt so bad for them and so sad. And they're here apologizing to me that they're like, I'm so sorry, I'm in a bad mood. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, we all have our moods, but there's this connection that we just can't turn off. We can't
Yep.
turn off.
It's crazy.
I agree completely.
Mhm. Do you guys think that moms have kind of normalized becoming mentally overloaded? Like that, it's kind of like the badge of honor, like we were talking about, how
Yeah.
busy we all are.
Yeah, I think we've just kind of conceded that like this is the way it's going to be. And we're all kind of in the same boat. And so you kind of look around and like, well, I mean, she's struggling too. And, so is she. And I really value her and look up to her and respect her or whatever. And it's almost like misery loves company. Like we're all in this together. We're all in this crazy S show of life. And this is just where we are in this phase, especially with kids. And, we're just kind of like, suck it up, buttercup. Like we're all in this together and everyone's going through it. It's just the way a TI is, as we say in our house.
Yeah, it's interesting though because like I've noticed how much it affects my stress levels, like being constantly on. And I have slightly older kids. Like I have a daughter, she's 17 and she's graduating this year, and I have a 12-year-old. And it's gotten to the point where I see notices come home from school looking for parent volunteers, and it's like an automatic hell no for me. Like, and I mean, I feel like slightly bad, but I also don't feel bad because moms are most likely to volunteer for these opportunities. It's usually not the dads. Like we just got an email about hanging up all the senior banners, transferring them from the hallways of the school to the football field where they're all going to be graduating. And I'm like, no, this is not okay, especially like taking time out of my own work where my husband is not even thinking he should take time out of his own work. Like it is not normalized for dads to balance all of this school stuff versus like their own work.
It's interesting because I feel like, and every school's different, but like the level of parent involvement, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's
And I
a
remember
lot.
being totally like shocked by that because when I first started kindergarten, I was doing radio like full time. So I was shocked at all of be it this event at 11 a.m. in the cafeteria, or, we're going to have everybody library helper and we're going to have this, and we're going to have that. And room mom is like a competition, like who can be the room mom and who can be involved the most. Like it really took me aback. I was not prepared for that. And we've had to change my husband and I both like changed our whole careers around because you almost feel like you have to keep up, not because of I'm worried about anybody else, but like it's just for my kid. And I had so many like comments from them like, well, you weren't here and you weren't there, and like the mom heart we just talked about, like you just wear those things so heavily, and you have all these things outside in the outside world telling you how quickly it goes, and You can't get this time back, all this stuff. I'm like, well,
So
hell.
lies. Yeah, no.
And luckily,
So-
right? And luckily the radio station I was on went under, so I didn't have to actively leave it. But that turns out to have been the best, thing that could have happened, because I do think that the freedom in your work and in your schedule is just one thing that you can't get back and you can't, take for granted. So that's been great. But yeah, I think that some of the problem is the moms who are creating all of the mom volunteer opportunities, and it just is a spiral. It doesn't stop. It's whoa, we're doing this to ourselves. Do we really need to go have moms volunteer to move a banner from one place to another when they've already gotten their kids to be a senior? They've done enough.
I have a really good idea. How about every senior go find their own banner and move it so that it's on the...
Exactly. You're about to go to college. You need to figure this stuff out for yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
But some, and not to knock any other moms, but some moms, that's their whole thing, right? That's their whole world, is being in the school as much as possible and creating all of these things that they can do. So then it fills their cup or fills their time. And so we're all different. But I do think moms are part of the problem sometimes.
Yeah, what you said, we kind of do this to ourselves. And I don't want to knock the moms who go in and volunteer. If that fills your cup, awesome. It's more the expectation that everybody else should do the same thing that fills your cup that gets to me. Right. And how it becomes a norm in schools. You're either accepted into the group or you're not, based on how much you volunteer.
And same with the kids, right? All of a sudden, all those kids are the ones that are friends, and their moms are at this, and they've planned this, and they're coaching the teams, and they're doing all the things. And then if there's a kid whose parent doesn't know what any of this is, they're just left kind of behind. And I think that's a little messed up.
It is. It is definitely messed up. You know what I love about a new school year? That feeling of possibility. This could be the year everything just clicks for your kid. And if you've been thinking there might be a different path that fits your child better, I want you to know about K-12 powered schools. They offer tuition-free accredited online public school for kids in kindergarten through 12th grade. And they genuinely get that not every kid thrives the same way. K-12 meets your child where they are, with dedicated teachers trained in virtual instruction who give real-time support, flexible options tailored to your child's needs and goals, and a real online community with extracurricular activities so your kid can connect with peers and explore what lights them up. K-12 has been doing this for over 25 years. And the best part, you can enroll anytime during the school year. So if now is the moment your family is ready for something new, this is your sign. See how K-12 powered schools can help unlock your child's full potential. Enroll online today at k12.com/NGM. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/NGM. k12.com/NGM.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Do you or someone you care about have questions about GLP-1s and cancer, or breast cancer, or just women's health in general? If so, tune in to Boobalicious wherever you get your podcasts. We're bringing you powerful conversations featuring top medical experts and inspiring celebrities who walk down that cancer path themselves. We also have a special QR code for our most popular show. Go to Instagram at BoobaliciouspOd and click on the QR code to unlock episodes full of insight and tips. You can find Boobalicious wherever you get your podcasts.
Moving kind of into the solution for all of this and all of the pressures that we have on ourselves, what is something that's made you feel genuinely more relaxed during this busy time?
I think for me, it's being with, with my girlfriends. Because listen, at the end of the day, we love our husbands. I love my husband, but there's just certain things that only my girlfriends want to talk about and want to hear about. And there's a different set of things that, my husband and I will talk about forever. It's just like those times when you're just sitting around together playing mahjong. I love to play mahjong.
I haven't learned that yet.
That's what we do now when we all get together. It's like, let's play mahjong, and we're doing something fun, playing a game, but also shooting the breeze. And, and you just feel like having someone or a group of people that you can be unapologetically yourself, that you can say to them, my kid's an asshole today, or, this is driving me crazy, or what my husband is making me want to pull my hair out, or being able to share like, I'm so proud of my kid for this, or I'm so proud of myself for this. Like having those people in your life that you can say anything to, and you can just be yourself. That's been a saving grace. The group of girlfriends that I have that we can talk about anything. And, even just listening to them, like listening to their stories, listening to their wins, listening to their losses. I feel like all those things are so very important. So that connection with a person or a group of people that you can just let loose and be yourself is really, really great.
That is a good one. What about you, Julie?
I definitely agree. Some of my best people are not like local. So that's why I went on that trip. It's like super important. And there are some great people locally too. But I've had the outlets of tennis and now pickleball. So I'm on 2 teams, and both teams, it's like they're all people I really love, and we're all goofy and silly and fun. And we'll go to lunch after. The pickleball is way more relaxed. Like the tennis gets a little serious, but my pickleball team is so fun. We're like touring hole in the wall Mexican food places after our games. And so I just know on like Fridays, that's what I'm doing. And now it's over, but we'll have another season in a while. But I think that's been a really big blessing. And it's kind of what Emily said, like surrounding yourself with people that you can talk to and all that, but also getting that physical, like getting exercise and being outside. Like that's so important to just get outside and get your mind off things. So for me, it's been the court sport route.
That's amazing because like you both said such great things. First of all, the connection. And then second, the physical activity aspect and getting out of your own head and not making those decisions. Like my recent thing has been improv. And it's been so fun, especially because like, Emily, you said something where you don't have to like kind of mask yourself around those people. You can just say what you want to say. You can vent. And I feel like improv is that for me because like one of the key like core components is during improv, you go for the jugular. Like our teacher just said last night, he's like, you are all nice people outside of class. And I am so thankful for that. Keep being nice people. But in improv scenes, it's good to just say the true feelings of your character. Like, I don't like you, or like, go away. And being able to release that part of myself has been
blame it
so
on comedy.
fun. Blame it on comedy. Yeah.
Right. I love that.
How do you both like personally recognize that you need an outlet like that before you get overloaded and break down?
I mean, I've got a couple group chats that like we just rib each other constantly. We had a girls' weekend a few weekends ago, and a couple of the girls went to bed a little bit earlier, maybe didn't have as many glasses of wine as the rest of us. And she was like, oh, I feel like a stack of hundreds, which that's kind of my phrase if I wake up feeling it, I'm like, I feel like a stack of hundreds. And then she was like, kudos to us for stopping drinking after the espresso martini or something like that. And I was like, so what's the opposite of a humble brag? What's the opposite? Because that's what you're doing. Because you're making so we just give each other shit constantly. To me, that's fun. And those are my people. Those are, I can't pretend. I've said this a million times. I feel like I'm a very kind person. I'm not nice all the time. Like I like to dish it out, but I also am prepared and like to take it. It's a check on yourself. I want friends that keep me in check. I love that dialogue back and forth. And it's something that to me, I mean, I think a good group chat can change your life. And so, I've got a couple that are fantastic that I can't even imagine it not being a part of my daily life. So get yourselves a good group chat, ladies.
That is interesting. Like I feel like I'm a little too nice during the day. Like I would love it to dish it out to people. I dish it out to my family and they dish it back to me.
It's fun.
I love that dynamic. But yeah, like,
and it's not for everybody.
Socially.
It's not for everybody. I mean, it's a different kind of friendship that I have with those people that are I don't really feel comfortable giving the business to, and they don't know me like that either.
Right.
But it's kind of my personality. And so you just kind of have to find those groups that, you know, where you feel like you can be, because that's me. That's me being comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And always important, just like back to your question, JoAnn, it's like when you kind of know when you need that mental break, you know, when you're like, okay, I need to go outside and go for a walk. That's such a good one too. Just going outside and going for a walk, or like walking the dog, or, you know, trying to take a break however you can. You never want to get to that point where you fully explode.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
No, that's a bad one. I've been there, and it has not been pretty for anyone involved.
Right, exactly.
What do you wish that more moms understood about letting go of perfection and stop putting so much pressure on themselves?
So that's a hard question. I think we're all, you know, searching for that, to be honest. You know, I think for me personally, I go through periods where I feel like I'm killing it in that regard. And then other times where, you know, I'm not, that I am, you know, feeling all that pressure and mental load. But I think just granting yourself grace, you know, giving yourself the same grace that you would give your kids or your best friend. Like, why would you not give that to yourself if you're willing to
Right.
give it to others? So maybe just reminding yourself of that could help.
Yeah. And I think the more we like normalize talking about, I think that it's probably been this way for such a long time, especially I know like a long time ago, it was a badge of honor for a mom or parent to have like perfect kids, right? Like my
Right.
kid's doing this, and my kid's so kind, and my kid's the best at his sport and all that. And I think it's just so important to be able to like normalize, like, my kid is going through this shit, and like my kid had a bad day. Or if your kid is different, like I have a child who was diagnosed with ADHD and level 1 autism and a lot. And I was super open about talking about it, not just like with Emily and stuff on the show, but like in my community. And I feel like the more that I talked about it, the more that people came to me and were like, me too. Like
Absolutely.
my kid too. And so many people were trying to keep that stuff buried. And that doesn't do anybody a service. It doesn't do your kid a service. It doesn't do you a service. It doesn't do the other parents a service. Like the more we can normalize these things, I think it's so important. So I would say that's it. Like just this trying to put out a perfect image of your family. And like maybe you're trying to get your kid like pointed in the right direction so they are popular, or so they're like going to make a team, or, you know, whatever. Like none of that matters. What matters is that your kid is like feeling supported and happy. We're not trying to smother anything about them that we might not be proud of. Don't do that. Like just let them like
Absolutely.
shine however they are. And I feel like a lot of parents, for whatever reason, that's probably how they were raised, right? Like everything's supposed to be perfection, and it's just not.
Yeah.
And the more we can lean into that, I feel like is really important.
Oh, I love that advice. I also like find like success without the struggle very boring. Like I don't want to connect with people who have perfect lives. Like that's
Right.
dull to me. I want like the grittiness and everything. It's why I love watching sports documentaries
Yes.
about like football players and what they did to get there. And oh my gosh, all of that work and all of that
Same.
struggle
I'm
is
watching
really what
Beckham
makes
right
us
now.
connect.
It's so crazy, like all the stuff David Beckham went through, and like the mental, you know, so many of these athletes, they're not perfect. Like they've been through so
No.
much. They're, you know, they have all these issues they're working through. So I love those sports docs too. It's so good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the Jason Kelsey biodoc. Like
I need
just
to watch
seeing
that.
him, like he was in hard physical shape. Like he was limping around the house during his last year. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is intense. Like
Yeah,
crazy.
I know.
Well,
It is so cool to see those things.
you both have a wonderful podcast called The Mom Game, which I was so lucky to be a guest on. Tell everybody about The Mom Game and what they could expect there.
We've been around for 6 years, which makes us a dinosaur in the podcast world. But yeah, it's basically just like these conversations. It's, you know, Julie and I talking about our lives completely unfiltered. There's pretty much nothing that's off limits for either one of us to speak about or ask about. You know, we try to be relatable. We're both have very authentic, you know, if I could brag on us, we both have very authentic personalities, not afraid to say what's on our mind, not afraid to admit when we don't know something, when we're going into waters where we're unsure. You know, we just try to provide a community ourselves that where, you know, men, women, I mean, our audience is half men, if you can believe that. We kind of see it as Julie always says, a peek behind the curtain at what the ladies are talking about. maybe we're a release for someone or an escape for someone. And that's kind of what we're trying to be. We
Yeah.
don't take ourselves too seriously. We have a lot of fun talking about our real life experiences, and we hope that people can relate to them.
Yeah,
Love it.
definitely. And we have that sports kind of angle too, just being sports or for sports broadcasters for our career. And I really love pulling on some of these athletes, whether current or former professional athletes or their wives, and just hearing about, like we talked about with the documentaries, like they're so real. They're so just like us. And it's been really fun too, to kind of lean into the youth sports angle, because I feel like everybody's got a story about youth sports. And then when we have on these professional athletes, retired or whatever they may be, their perspective on parenting kids playing sports is so cool and
Right.
unique. So that's been a really fun, like, part of, what we've discovered, I feel like. And a little bit of our niche is leaning into all of that while also discussing like all the day-to-day stuff, like Emily mentioned. So it's been really fun. And it's, like she said, hopefully an outlet for other people. It's definitely been an outlet for me, I think, and for us too.
Absolutely. Well, go listen to Emily and Julie on the Mom Game podcast. And thank you so much for being here and for sharing all this and talking about your lives and your mental load and motherhood.
Of course. Thank you
Thanks
for having us,
JoAnn.
And thanks for coming
Yes.
on our show as well.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Definitely a lot of synergy here with our shows.
Absolutely. And for all of you listening out there, remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you, and we'll talk with you later. If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You could also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why customers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.